it's not raining, it's just a slight drizzle, a very, very slight drizzle, but it's everywhere and it's not going away. So I've got to make a decision, do I put a raincoat on or do I just walk and change my clothes when I get back? I'll probably just walk and change my clothes when I get back because you're going to be wet and dirty from the sweat anyway, I hope. Anyway, I'll have a look up here. The other day when I was walking up here, wasn't on the video, but I saw emu shit, so there's emus in here too. Wallabies, kangaroos, sorry, might not be wallabies, but there is kangaroos in here and other things. They get koala bears and all sorts of stuff up here, plus just the random stuff that happens wherever you go, somewhere different. Okay, let's get out of here and start walking. I've got a little water bottle with me. I've got my raincoat with me. I've got some camera gear. We'll just go and see what happens. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's start walking. I'll take my old spectacles off. Making a spectacle of myself, as they say. I suppose I am if I'm making YouTube, so I'm making a spectacle of myself. Hope you guys understand. Just before I start walking on this hike, come and have a look at the grass trees over here. Ground's quite warm at the moment, so I've got to keep an eye open for snakes too, all the time, always. Except in winter down this southern part of Australia, the snakes tend to hibernate in the winter. It gets too cold for them. There's some little grass trees there. Well, when I say little grass trees, these grass trees, you can understand, when I was a child, we used to call them blackfellas. They're called blackfellas. You're not allowed to say that now. You're not allowed to say it. I think it might be interpreted as being racial. But you can imagine if you're a child driving along and people say, there's the blackfellas over there, and you can see their spears, you know. And that's sort of what the conversation was about, those blackfellow trees, blackfellas. Right, that's enough of that. Now you can see one here is broken off by natural causes. They're very resistant to the fire. He's been burnt, but they're very, very resistant to the fire. Now, on the bottom of these, around the bottom, they have resin nodules, and you'll find them on certain areas at certain times. And it's not a science that I've worked out exactly how to do it, but I have found a few. And you get little lumps of resin. I used to harvest them on Kangaroo Island as an industry, picking up these resin nodules. And the old folks, the original Australians, used to use them as a glue. You could heat them up to hold like heads on stone axes or anything where you needed a bit of like epoxy resin, old school epoxy resin. You just heat it up, mix it with a bit of charcoal or a bit of kangaroo poo, you give it a bit of fibrous strength, and you can use it for gluing stuff, and it was really good. I'm heading over there. I've got to go back to the track, get back on my path, watching for snakes, and we'll go for a walk and get that sweat happening again. My God, I can't believe how good I felt after my walk the other day. That nearly killed me, but, you know, it made me huff and puff and sweat, and made me hips ache, and old muscles that I don't use much ache. But it was really worthwhile. There's another one of those banksia trees. I might have been rattling on a bit much the other day about the banksia trees, but there's another one there. See all the little banksia men? All the banksia men are sitting there, waiting for night time to come, where they climb down and go scurrying through the bush looking for naughty children, or something like that. Righty, let's go. Huffing and puffing is the aim of the game. I've got about an hour in front of me, walking on a slightly uphill sandy track through this scrubby country full of bracken ferns. I don't know if they've got bracken ferns in the United States, other countries. I think they've got them in England, I'm fairly sure they have. Probably everywhere. This stuff, I'll give you a close-up photo. Bracken fern, just grows everywhere. Do you have bull ants in America? Do you have big black bull ants, inch long? Sometimes they call it inches over here because they're an inch long. Jesus, they bite. I'll tell you another secret, a little bit of bush medicine. If if you get bitten by a big bull ant like that, pull up a bracken plant and get the root part of it and twist it and squeeze it, and that it appears to be fairly dry. There's hardly any juice comes out of it, but the juice that does come out of it, if you rub that on the bull ant bite, it will alleviate the pain. It won't make it go away, but it will take the edge off it. That's handy to know, because wherever the bull ants are, you'll have bracken fern mainly. It's just a old traditional cure. Pass it on. If you don't pass it on, yeah, if you don't pass these old hints, hacks and cures on to the next generation, people won't know much. People will forget it. Like the old people told me this, I've remembered it, I've used it, it does work. Now here's a different tree for anybody who's interested in Australian trees. This is called a she oak. The grain of a timber is like an oak. It has these little fine leaves, and it has those types of nuts there. Up there, and up there, and up there. It's a tree that grows sort of on its own. You tend not to have forests of them. Over there, that tree, and this tree, and another one, 3 trees. Oh, and there's a little sapling one over there. She oaks. It's nice weather for the animals today. Something dead here somewhere, I can smell it. The kangaroo, it's been hit on the road and got off into the bush to die, or been shot or something by people who do those things. Or it could be a body, it could be a crackhead laying in the scrub. I don't know. I'm not going to find out. But something's dead. Okay. Look at that big old tree, very nice. I don't know what's going on. The phone tends to make the bush look washed out and bleak. It's the only way I can describe it. The Osmo camera gives it a bit more colour to the bush. And looking at the bush now, and looking at what I'm filming, the bush is more pleasant than the image on the screen. Don't know how to fix that. Maybe if I go and buy a big Canon camera instead of using a phone, I'd get a better image. But I haven't got one, so that's what I've got. We head up here to the rifle range, uphill, about 1 kilometre. There's a bump of a kangaroo took off in there somewhere. Yeah, head up to the rifle range and get me huffing and puffing. You can see by this pool here where the water's come down and filled it right up. There's been a fair bit of rain to run down and do that. The tracks from where I walked 2 days ago have completely gone, been washed away. Had a big thunderstorm last night, crashing and rattling the house. Yeah, it was a good one. I think that drizzle's disappeared now, but I do have my raincoat in the bag in case I need it. Right, starting to huff and puff a bit. Fitness, getting fit. Now I don't know if it's my Scottish heritage or whatever. I don't want to race out and buy a walking machine. I don't want to have to race out and buy a new set of sporting clothes. I don't want to pay big memberships for a gymnasium. When going for a walk would achieve the same results. Don't get me wrong, if I have to spend the money, it's probably worthwhile. And some people aren't on a tight budget, they've got a bit more cash to spend around. But there's one thing I do know, buying the gear, because you want to do something, so you spend money to buy the gear, the equipment, the clothes, and then you end up not doing it. Spending the money doesn't solve the problem. You've got to actually do it. You've got to get out there and do it. this is only about me, but I'll tell you what, if any of you guys out there have started going for walks, or you got a local walking spot, or you do it already, and you've had good results, give us a comment. I'm only a small YouTube channel. Comments don't worry me too much. I'd like to get comments, of course, but I've got to get content first. So when I say give us a comment, I really mean it. Like, I get about 2 comments a video. So give it, a comment is having a chat to me. I haven't got an automatic comment answering machine like I'm sure the big boys do. It'll be me on there if I get back from this walk. A little bit of a steep bit in front of me, a little bit of an incline here in front of me. It'll get me huffing. Yeah, put it on a wide view, there we go, so you can see something. Yeah. Puffing and puffing. People from overseas have heard about wombats. Australian wombats, that's a wombat's hole in there. He's been digging down. Not too deep. He's had a bit of a dig there and gone away. He hasn't really made it into a proper wombat's hole. Oi. The wombats are mainly more up in the hills. For some reason there don't seem to be a lot of them in the sandy stuff. They like the little valleys beside the creeks and up at the top of the mountains. Yeah, puffing now, fellas. Puffing now. Puff and puff. Hey. Just good. Not talking to a bloke, I was on a comment. He's from up at Washington State. G'day mate, up in Washington State. He said 6 miles from the Pacific Ocean and 6 miles from Canada. I thought, I don't know that. I don't know anything about what's up there. So I googled it. That's a beautiful looking place, all bush and hills and not too many people by the look of things, not overpopulated. I thought, that's just a strange world we live in. I chuck up a bit of a video. I make a little bit of a video on me old Samsung phone, and a bloke over in the top of Washington State in the USA is watching a video of me walking through a scrub over here. It's a strange world. But then again, I like watching a few old blokes. There's old bloke, Uncle Sasquatch, they call him. He's just an old dude, sits and has a talk. Bit of a muzzle loader guy. Another bloke, Mike Reed, outdoors. I like watching him. He's an old boy. I call him an old boy. Yeah. Anybody who's got grey hair, I think, or any of the people have been around a bit, have seen the world change so much that we're getting lost. We're getting isolated because what we learnt and what we knew has all been modified and altered now. We're told what we got to think. We know most of it's not right, through experience. We know most of it's propaganda of some sort, either ecological propaganda or, there's some horse tracks there. There's either ecological propaganda or political propaganda. Hey. A bit sore on one of my feet. It's all right though. I'll work through that. That's a nice grass trees. You can see. Yeah. Like that'd be to the top of that'd be 8 foot. Another one there, little cluster of them over there. Yeah, we're always getting told stuff that we know is not true. And we look, hey, look at this, guys, I'll show you this. For people who don't know, that's emu. That's emu poo. I can't say emu shit. Emu poo, and you can see they've been eating some sort of seeds in there. So emus are in here, there's no tracks, it's all been washed away. But they must be here. Must be here somewhere. Went down yesterday to the local pier. We sat down and went fishing. You know, just the small rods and off a pier. And we had a good day. It was quite relaxing. Only sat there for a couple of hours. Instead of going to a surf and all that sort of stuff, we just went down to the pier. And we both caught a beautiful big flathead, which is one of the most beautiful eating fish. We both caught a personal best in our lives. Flathead and a couple of other little fish in about 3 hours. It was that big I couldn't pull it in. Had to walk along the pier back to the shore and along the shore until we got a little beach area to drag him up on. So that's a good thing. Go on fishing. There's more banks here, man. Look at the little devils, eh? Yeah, so this is a flora reserve to save nature here. There's a few flora reserves around Victoria and Australia that have been designated as don't go cutting and digging and cutting wood or doing anything that's going to upset anything. As far as nature goes, oh, we got another sign. It's all right. I just saw something in the bush. Yeah, and that's got to be good. That's a good idea. Stop people annoying things. Yeah, another Banksia man on the ground. He didn't get back to his tree last night. He's had a sleep here, I'll tell the children. Oh, should you tell children things that aren't quite true? Should you lie to your children? What do you reckon? Should you lie to your children? Here's a subject that'll get controversy. Should you teach your children to lie? Because some people are natural liars, you know, we've all met those people, but a lot of people aren't natural liars. And lying is a skill. And the question is, should you teach your children to lie? Should you teach them to be good liars? Now, everybody will get upset and say, oh no, you've got to tell the truth. You have to tell the truth all the time. Well, you know, the way the world goes, sometimes you don't have to tell the truth. I'll ask you the question. You get pulled up by the police and he says you're speeding. First thing you say is, no, I wasn't, in a polite way. When you fill out your taxation, when you do anything, you quite often you are actually lying. Now people say, oh, it's only a white lie. You know, everybody does that. People who run businesses and filling out their claims for expenses is a good one. But I look at it this way. People in wartime situations, like certain ethnic groups in Germany during the war, you had to know how to lie. If you're told all the truth all the time, you're going to disappear. I think it still happens in a lot of countries. The question about lying, I think, is you've got to tell your children, yeah, teach them how to lie. You've got to. But you also got to let them know when it is acceptable to lie, and when it's not acceptable to lie. And if you're lying to cause pain and harm, that's not acceptable. But if you're lying to avoid pain and persecution, maybe that is acceptable. Watch out, the rain's coming again. But that's an interesting one. People will say, tell me God said not to lie, are different things, but everybody's got an opinion. And do you lie to your children? You, Freddie, you watch it. Do you lie to your children? No, never lie to your children. But you tell him Santa Claus is coming at Christmas. You tell him a tooth fairy is coming. So where does it end? The lying. Oh, that's only a little lie. That's not lying, that's just telling a story. Telling him the Banksia men are going to come out of the trees at night time and look for naughty children. Is that lying? Yeah, it's lying. But it's done with the right intention. And I think all myths and legends could be classed as lies because they can't be backed by, can't be documented and backed. Now I pulled this off the other day. The old stringy bark trees. There was a piece of bark hanging up there. Now I pulled this piece off here. This is a big piece of bark. I'll lay it. There it is. That's a big piece of sheet of bark. Quite, 6 foot tall, 8 inches across. That was just hanging on there like it, no harm to the tree or anything to pull that off. But where the stringy barks are, you've got another one here. There's quite a lot of them that you can pull off. You can see how loose that is. And you'll get big sheets that you can build a shelter out of. Lay it on the ground to make a mattress, keep you out of the dirt, keep you out of the water. And the old people, with their stone axes, would get a tree similar to that, and they cut a ring around the bottom, and a ring around, 6 foot up, and they get a big pointy stick and lever it like a crowbar, and lever off great big sheets of stringy bark, make their shelters as warm, insulated, and relatively waterproof. And I have seen houses made, real houses like the pitch roof and walls made out of big sheets. Imagine that tree there, if you've peeled the bark off him, say they cut him down for wood or something, and in the process of sawmilling, you might clear the bark off them, and you get a great big sheet of bark. It'll be as wider than a sheet of corrugated iron, totally waterproof. And I've seen buildings done with them, with that nailed on the walls, and it did have corrugated iron on the roof, but I think it originally had stringy bark sheets on the roof, but they'd recovered it with iron. Now, it wasn't a humpy, it was a proper house, square, with a timber frame, or sapling frames I think, but proper doors and windows in it. I've seen that when I was a kid. No coding for those things, but they're still around in some places. Right, I'm talking and walking. We're at the rifle butts, the back of the rifle butts range. I can see the rifle butts that they shoot into coming up. So I've only got 1 more mile to walk, and then I'll turn around and come back. Come up here and we'll have a look at the back of the rifle butts, the rifle range, the 303 rifle range, lost in the bush. If I was in America, I could say, abandoned rifle range, lost in the bush since World War II. But that's not true. But like YouTube, nothing. A lot of what is on YouTube is not true. There it is over there. You can't see it. Rightio, we'll get closer. Down this track here. Now the sign says they're only shooting on Saturdays. And the beautiful thing about shooting rifle ranges is, if they are shooting, I most certainly know about it. You'll hear them banging. Oh God, puffing and puffing. I didn't come down this bit the other day, but we're going to have a look. Something I want to say which is really interesting. A lot of people don't understand, don't know. They play video games, the children, the young people, video games of shooting, and they watch movies, war movies of people shooting, and they don't comprehend the accuracy of some of those old rifles. Right. Here we go. That's the targets. Okay. The drizzle is coming down more seriously now. This is quite well made, isn't it? Look, smells of sump oil and creosote. That's where the rifles whack into, up there. Now I haven't got a target, but there's no targets here. But just have a look over the top. We'll see what we can see. No, that's not going to work. Okay. What I want to show, what I want to point out is there's no targets. There's a bit of rubbish laying around there, old stuff, but nothing, no targets as such. And I've got to climb up this steep muddy bank. It's slippery and rainy, but we'll do it in a sec for the sake of science. Remembering I've got to get back down again too. Okay, oh, it's got me up and rightio. There, that is there. Okay, there's the range. There's the lanes. Targets come up on these iron frames. Now, being a drizzly day, you cannot see where they're shooting from. It is that far away. It is way up the top of that tree line. Righty, I'll put it on full magnification. Where those trees cover at the back there, that's where they're shooting from. It'd be about a mile. And they could shoot from there, where you can't even see in this drizzly rain, I can't see, down to here, and hit something the size of a 20 litre bucket bottom, consistently with iron sights, a 303, consistently. Somebody can shoot from there, way down to here, and hit something the size of a, how would you say, garbage tin lid, bottom of a 20 litre bucket, consistently. The people that can shoot. Now, that just frightens the hell out of you. Now, there's no scopes. No scopes, no. We'll go down here, I've got a bit of easier to get down. That's without scopes. Whew. That's without scopes and without, glass optics, we'll call it. That's with a peep sight and an old military rifle. Now, of course, the people that had the military rifles for target shooting did certain little modifications that they could do, but they weren't allowed to alter them too much. They had to be standard type of thing. But they did have the peep sights on the back, finely adjustable up and down and across. Right, I'll walk this way back. Why will I walk this way back? Because, my friend, it's easier. I didn't want to climb down that red dirt again. There's little lumps and bumps up there that look like animals out on the bloody thing, but I don't think, I'm sure they're not. They're just tussocks bushes. That's a long way to take a shot. My God. Whew. And we made up in Washington, it's just across from Canada, across the water from Canada, a big estuary type thing, or river, or something. Canada's almost under the same political system as Australia. The Queen of England is still, sorry, now it's the King of England. The King of England is still the leader, is still the head. Is still the head of, I don't know, I'm not a bloody politician, I don't know how to say it. But the King of England is still on all our money, on all our coins, and has still a lot of power over our politics. They say they haven't, but we actually in Australia had a situation where we elected a Prime Minister to govern us, and the Governor General went to the Queen and got him sacked. And he wasn't doing anything outrageous, but the standard, it was a party that got in after the other party had been in for a long time, and they didn't like what he was doing. But he wasn't corrupt. But anyway, oh no, look at them big kangaroos. I don't know if you can see that. What I said looked like animals before. I thought they were just tussocks. Can't see, can't magnify it enough. Big old kangaroo there. Right, I put my finger in front of the camera. Where is he? The top of my finger there is a big kangaroo sitting up, and the other one, so the other two behind him will be kangaroo. So what I'll do, I'll disappear into the bush here. I'll disappear into the bush now. The old kangaroos aren't that stupid. He knows I've gone and he knows I'm heading in this direction. He'll head off. He won't be there when I get up there. He's a big fella, a couple of others. Yeah, big old kangaroo. He might be there. But if I talk quietly. Where's my little thing? Yeah, still there. I'll talk quietly and see what happens. We'll see if he's up here. We'll sneak up on the old boy. If I talk really quietly. Yeah, little butterflies. I want to show you this bush too while I'm on the way. These things look like just a little bush, but have a look when you get close to the stalks. Have a look at those nasty little... Ow. See, I can't even grab that without getting prickled. See those nasty little thorns everywhere, all over it. Nasty little horrible things, yeah. All along it, very sharp, very prickly. Okay, let's go and see the old kangaroo. See what he's up to. Yeah, I'm gonna have wet clothes when I get back for sure. But I'm nowhere near huffing and puffing as much as I was the other day. One walk's lifted the game. Hey, real lot. If I come here again for an exercise walk, I'm going to have to walk faster and not bring the camera. Just put the pressure up. Faster step. Right, just at this track up here. This is where the big kangaroo's just around the corner. I'll just come over here a bit. It's nice and ground cover's all wet. Good for stalking. Gets dry, it's like walking over cornflakes. I heard a noise, he might be on the move. Heard a thump. Oh, it looks like it moved off. It moved off from here. That's how they stay alive. That's how they stay alive. They know what's going on. Yeah, as soon as he lost sight of me, he said, I'm not hanging around. That bugger's a bad bugger. He's sneaking somewhere. I don't know where he is, so I'm getting out of here. Yeah, they've gone. Oh well. Yeah, I've still got to get way up there yet. Okay, let's keep walking. Walking and talking, guys. Walking and talking. I still haven't got camping with a little boy yet, taking him out to touch him. Bush etiquette, had a light a fire. You don't realise how much you don't know that you've learned from your parents and the old people who shared things with you just about campfire etiquette. You don't realise until you see somebody near a fire or camping who's never been there before. Oh my God, they don't have a clue. Just little things, you know, like always walk behind the people sitting by the fire, don't walk in front of them. Walk behind them. Don't chuck plastic and rubbish in the fire until you're going to bed or whatever, until everybody's finished. All those little things. I can't think of everything, but I have seen some people make some terrible bloody mistakes. There's one survivalist show, one of our shows, there was not the famous ones, but one that was done before they became popular. People went out the bush with their families and teach their children how to do it all, and they had a big confrontation. and you can see it on the camera. And then I had to put a bit, had to cut it, and I had to cut it, and yeah, they had a bit of a, oh, it's getting hard to carry this thing now. Had a bit of a disagreement in the camp. And one dad and his son, and the other dads and their sons, and then they put a little explanation at the end of the show and said, well, one bloke believed to be environmentally totally friendly, so when he went and had a crap, he chucked it in a bag or something, and he come back and threw it in the fire. Now, technically, yeah, that's environmentally friendly, but not when everybody's sitting around the fire talking and cooking toast and cooking their breakfast and their evening meals on the fire. You don't want a big turd smoking away in the fire. But this fella was there teaching his son, technically, environmentally, yes, but not really the thing to do. I would not think. Some things are just, well, correct. They take a bit of getting used to. When I first went hunting up in the bush years ago, hound hunting, everybody come from all over the place. They get together, all good friends, good mates. Or as you're in a team, you rely on each other 100%. You know, you're up in the real wild country, and you're on your own with your team. But what happened up there, which I thought, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm uneducated, maybe I'm a bit precious, but they'd eat their meal, big stew or something, you'd eat your food, and what they didn't eat, they scraped back into the communal pot to be eaten again the next day in the morning. And I was obviously a bit precious. I thought, oh God, that doesn't really do it right. Doesn't do it for me. But guess what, you just harden up, and I'm sure it's the right thing to do in situations where you don't have a lot of food, and that's the way they did it. And if I was in their camp, that's why I had to put up with it. I was only a younger bloke back then. I got used to it. Didn't happen all the time, mind you, only when it was a stew or something like that. Most of the time we eating steaks and chops and spuds, there was nothing left. But then I went to Thailand, and I found out something completely different in Thailand. Probably not different. Is if you're a guest over there and you're a visitor and you're a Westerner, and they know you're a Westerner, of course, they won't do this. But if you're part of the family, or you want to blend in, not as a tourist, but as one of the family, everybody eats out of the same soup bowl. You know, you have a few scoops of soup, and then you sit it there, and then you eat something else, and then somebody else will have a few spoons of soup. And another weird thing, oh, there they are, a couple of big kangas just up there. There they are, a couple of big kangas right up at the end of a track there, just on top of the bend. I'll widen the lens out, see if you can see it. They're just behind. No, they moved on, they're just a little horizontal track up there. They moved on from that. But they would be only 100 yards away. You know, and if you're allowed to shoot kangaroos and you're after some kangaroo meat, they would have been in range. They sat there, bloke could have got a shot if he wanted it. We'll go out and see if they've, just hang on a minute. Okay, we'll sneak out here and see if we can see them on the, there's a big one, come back again, hang on. Uh-oh. Now you see, I'm not hiding. He's seen me. You can tell by his body language, we'll call it. He's seen me because I'm standing in the middle of a sandy road. I haven't got camo on, and I'm standing in the middle of a sandy road. He can see what I'm up to. He says, that's not right. And now he's looking over at his friends. He said, I better go and look after his mates. He's quite large. He'd be 6 foot, 7 foot. He's gone out on the oval out there too. Okay, so we'll sneak out over there and have a look around the corner and see if they're out feeding. There's one, I can see one already through the trees. I can see his outline. Now you got to remember these kangaroos, a lot of kangaroos are, you see them on the golf courses where people don't shoot them and they're almost pets, but these ones will be shot at by people who don't want them eating their grass and such. Yeah, he's out there, just get a bit closer. People who don't want them eating their crops and grass, because you don't get 1 or 2 kangaroos, you get 50 or 100. Right, yeah. There's one over there, standing up. About the same 100 yards. He's either a female or half-grown one. Just come this way a little bit. He's eating again. He hasn't worried. I haven't worried him too much. Oh yeah. Here we go. And a little one up in the bank there, and that big boy they're eating there. He's a big old thumper, big old buddy, old man. If he decided to attack me, I'd have nothing I could do. But the other one, little one's decided he's out of here. The little one decided he's gone. This big one's looking at me again. Oh yeah, his claws in his hand are longer than a man's finger. Yeah, so you got to remember that. There's another big one, a fella too. They stand up if you're 8 foot tall, with claws bigger than your finger. There's another fella. And what they do is they grab you with the front claws, embrace you, and then they stand up on their big tail and they rip into you with the big black legs with a big toenail on them and disembowel you. Yeah, I'm talking, you've heard me talking, they're all gone. Could be some more. So there you go, kangaroos. They're gone, that's good. And this would be, I don't know, 600, 700 metres down to the targets, down that way, long shot. And about the same distance way up there. Rightio, let's go. Kangaroos are gone. We saw the kangaroos. Oi. Well, that's got to be good, guys. You've seen the kangaroos. As I say, they're wild ones. Ones that get shot at, ones that get hit by cars. They're not pets. Anybody can film a kangaroo in a zoo, like you can film a tiger or an elephant or something. But out in the wild, yeah, with a mobile phone to film them, it's not too bad a job. And we did it. That's good. No camo, no stalking too much. Right, yeah. Yabbering and walking and talking. Goes for hours. I don't know my gum trees well enough. I know they're stringy barks. Yeah, that's a stringy bark. You know, you just sort of peel it off. Yeah, stringy bark. It's all right for lighting fires. Even with all this drizzle, that stuff here is bone dry, you know. It's a bit damp from the moisture, but you break it up like that. Put it on top of your tinder, not actual tinder, but on top of your tinder, you'll get a fire going. These bone dry here, and it's been raining for about 3 days. But this tree here has got the smooth bark. And I've got to tell you, it's an embarrassment for me. I've got to tell you, I don't know what it's called. I don't know. I know it's good firewood. Just tripping over a few sticks here. I know it's good firewood, but I don't know what it's called. Right. I need a shoulder strap to come off here and over to my bottom of my camera stick to hold it, because my arm's getting tired from holding this up. Let's have a look for the kangaroo tracks where they came out. They came out, oh, I don't know. Where would he have come out from? That just goes to show you, doesn't it? I can't actually find his tracks. Yep, can't find them. Don't want to look too long, they'll be there. Right, yeah. Up we go again. Touch screen on the camera stopped responding. Had to turn it off and turn it on again. Okay, we'll go there. That's better. Hi, nearly up to the rifle range. You can see these prickle trees, for want of a name. As you can see here, it's just a forest of them. And unless you follow a game trail, you won't get through them. You've got those nasty little spikes and thorns. Little needle things all the way along it. Yeah. And the leaves themselves not only look prickly, they are prickly. Okay, let's get up here. See what's going on. Hey, rain's coming down a bit. What's that up there? Oh, it's a big stump. Look like a car. Big stump. There's a white cockatoo feather. None around today, they're gone somewhere else. They go to the farms and get the cereal, the grain-fed dairies and that sort of stuff. We're always spilling a bit of grain. So I head around there, get a free feed, stuff like that. Right, don't take shortcuts, walk right up to the start. Yeah, so I said the other day, the tea tree's in flower. Here it is, tea tree's in flower. And that's a sign that the fishing's coming good. Where we are in the winter, in the cold water climate, you won't catch many fish in the estuaries. I went yesterday and got two great big flathead, which are just the best eating fish. Big as you'll get, almost. Although sometimes you go up New South Wales, you can get them with heads on them like a garden spade. They're monsters, but we don't get them down here. Rightio, nearly there. Whew. Nearly there, guys. Hey, I'll set up my tripod on this stump here. Just heard a big bump in the bush, which could be a kangaroo taking off, or a big branch falling off a tree. Sounded more like a big kangaroo taking off. Or if we're up in the other bush where a deer are, we could have said it was a deer stamping the ground, similar to what sheep do. When there's something I don't know, they'll stamp their foot. Right, yeah, how's that for a bit of a stump, eh? That's a good one. Well, I'm up here. I haven't sweated as much as I did the other day. I'm going to have to do it harder next time. I won't film the bush and all that. I'll find something more interesting to show you. Let us know what you want to see in Australia. In the bush, some people say it's boring, but there's lots of stuff if you're interested in that type of thing. We saw the kangaroos. Been for a good walk, about an hour, up the hill. Sweat's pouring off me a little bit. I got rid of my bandages. They just fell off the other day for the biopsies for the skin cancer. And they fell off. I'll have a quick walk down the hill to get out of here, and then I'll go home and load the video up and post it out. See you guys. Keep happy. Oi! Keep happy. Wherever you are, keep happy. Keep doing it. Don't give up. Think about the good things that might. There's the three kangas back out again on my way back. Out there in the drizzle. Feeding away. Yeah, they know where the people are. They don't smell, kangaroos don't smell much. Haven't got an excellent, do not have an excellent sense of smell, but they do have good hearing and good eyesight. And they can move quick when they want to get away. There they are, guys. Kangaroos feeding on the rifle range. There's no irony there, isn't there? Really, but they keep the grass down. It's only real rough stuff, but apparently they feel safer in here. At night time they'll go over to the farms, go out in the farms, cause havoc. But that's what it is. Rightio.